Hey everyone, Tristan from NoiseGate here with another KORG Wavestate tutorial video. The last two videos we've done served as sort of a conceptual introduction to both wave sequencing and vector synthesis. So if you haven't already, I'd encourage you to go back and watch those two videos. In this video, we'll be diving a bit deeper and showing how it all fits together in more of an advanced performance context. I'll be moving pretty quickly, so again, I'd encourage you to check out those fundamentals in those other videos first. Okay, to start with, I'm just going to go to a blank initialized performance, as we have here. And I'm just going to build up this patch program by program, layer by layer. So with layer A selected, I'm going to scroll into the program performance screen, turn this value knob, then hold down Shift and press right to get into a category selection. I'm going to jump straight to drums, press enter. Now I'm only looking at drum programs. Again, this is just to fill up one of our 4 layers for this performance. Let's just find a cool sounding drum preset here. Great, it sounds good to me. What you'll notice with this sequence is it's built up of various sequences of different lengths. However, they're all governed by this master track here. This master track set to 1/4 note times 4, which is 1 bar, which means no matter the length of the different sequences, they're all going to start and get triggered again at the end of 1 bar. So it all fits together nicely. So they all start in the same spot. Cool. We can adjust this by selecting the master sequencer lane and changing the presets. Let's change it to 2/4 notes, for example. Or we can even make it 3/4 notes. That gives us a nice kind of a triple E vibe. Let's just stick with that one. That's sounding pretty good. The only thing I'm not sure about is that open hi-hat that kicks in every repetition. That one there. It's a little bit annoying how it happens every single time, so let's try to do something about that. Let's go to the sample sequencer lane, and I believe the open hat is on step 9. Yep, let's select step number 9, and let's scroll down to the probability parameter. It's currently on 100%. Let's drop that down to 50%. Now when I play this sequence, there's a 50-50 chance of that open hi-hat happening or not. If not, if it doesn't trigger, it's just going to move on to the next sample. But because they're a master track, it's always going to fit in that nice triple D vibe. So let's check that out now. Nice. So we only get that open hi-hat every now and then, but it's still a cool sort of 6/8 triple D feel. Okay, with that done, in the context of this performance, I only want to trigger that drum part from this low C note, because I'm going to be playing other instruments at the same time. So let's go to the next page, and we find keyboard zones. This is which keys in the keyboard trigger that particular program. I'm just going to change the high and low note to C3, by holding down Enter and pressing C3. So now only this note will trigger that program. No other keys will. You'll also notice those samples are pitched down an octave. That's because C4 is the root note. So if we play an octave lower than C4, it's going to pitch all the samples down an octave. So in the next page, we have transpose. Let's transpose this program up 12 semitones in 1 octave. So now it sounds as if it should. Okay, I think we're done with the drums. Let's move on to layer B. I'm going to throw a bass program into this track. So let's scroll to our program select screen, turn the value knob, and again, enter the category selector. This time choose bass. Hit enter, and let's try this patch up. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Press enter to load that. Let's just tweak the filter settings to make it sound a bit darker. Okay, that's pretty good. Now to give this a bit of rhythm, I'm going to go to the timing sequencer lane and choose a lane preset. This one, I found one called Rising Up, which has a bit of groove to it. Call this one. Okay, that's pretty subtle, but it's got a bit of groove to it. So let's add a bit of melody to it by going to the pitch lane. And again, choosing a pitch sequencer lane preset. Again, something subtle will work here. Nice, that's pretty cool. Only thing is that's a 4/4 sequence or a 16-step sequence, and our song's in kind of 12/8 or 6/8. So I'm going to change the loop end time on the pitch sequence to the 12th step. So now it should fit in our triplet vibe again. Okay, so far so good. Let's move on to layer C now. I'm going to throw more of a paddy, spacey sort of sound into this track. So let's, again, find a program preset. This time I'm going to jump to the category of pads. Let's have a look and see what we can find here. Maybe a bit too airy. Cool, that sounds good to me. Let's load that on top. And that's not too bad. The only thing is I'm going to be triggering the bass part and the pad part at the same time, so I need to adjust each of their key zones. So let's go back to the performance keyboard zone section and just change the keyboard zone for the bass part to C3 to G3. And change the pads keyboard zone to C4. Let's go C6 and C4. So now the pad part is on this part of the keyboard and the bass is on this part of the keyboard. So I can play them both at the same time and not worry about overlap. Nice. Okay, let's move on to the last layer, which will be a sort of arpeggiator lead sound. Let's again find a program to use. In our category selection, let's go to fast synth and just find a nice kind of plucky sound here somewhere. Okay, that sounds pretty good to me, nice and soft. For this I'm going to use the arpeggiator. Let's turn that on. Okay, that's sounding pretty good. Let's add a bit of variation to that by choosing a timing lane preset. If you'll notice, the timing lane isn't triggering. That's because each note retrigger starts the sequence all over again, but we've got the arpeggiator on, so it's constantly retriggering the sequence. I can change this by turning on note advance. Now it's going to move to a new part of this new step each time a new note is triggered. So it works nicely with the arpeggiator. Cool, but that timing sequence delay is giving it a bit of variation. Now we should have a pretty full sequence working. Oh, let's just adjust the keyboard zone of our last part there. And let's make it fit into the same zone as the pad. So I'm going to change the lowest note to C4. Okay, now if we turn all of our tracks on, we should be able to trigger them all at the same time. Cool, that's sounding pretty good. Last thing I want to do is be able to morph between all these parts with the vector stick. That's really easy to do. All I have to do is hold down Shift, turn on vector volume. Now I can really easily morph between them. Now just to add a few more performance aspects to this part, let's turn on hold for the drums and for the bass. So I don't have to keep holding that note down to trigger the drums and the bass. It's going to keep sustaining. Okay, so I'm just going to play the low C note, and because of the position of the vector stick, we're just going to hear the bass. And that whole parameter is sustaining the bass. I'm going to bring in the drums. And I can fade in some pad. Okay, this has been another more advanced look at wave sequencing. Stay tuned for more tutorials coming soon, and thanks for watching.